Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel Disney and Devony, and welcome to another episode of Deep Dive into Disney. This is a wonderful collab created by Vicki's Tigger Tale, where we're going to where she gives the name and the title of a movie, and we rate our top 5. It's my Georgie. I knew it. I knew he was going to do this because he saw me with the camera and came and parked himself right here. Okay. Before I continue, let me go ahead and say happy birthday to him because he did just have a birthday. He turned 6. So let me go ahead and get Georgie so we can just say happy birthday to him, and maybe that will appease him. So here's Georgie. He had a birthday and he is 6 years old now. You want to tell me something? Well, I'm wishing you a happy birthday. Look, right there. See? Say happy birthday. We're wishing you a happy birthday. You wanted some camera time, so here's your camera time. Okay. And he's gone. All right, so he's gone now. So today's movie is Moana, and we're going to deep dive into Moana, and I'm going to rate 5 things from the movie. It can either be a song, a quote, a character, song, quote, or a character. So I have 2 characters, I have 2 songs, and then I have 1 saying. That's 5. Okay, so there's no particular order that I can rate this in except just mention the characters, which I'm going to start off with the characters. So the first one is Hei Hei. So Hei Hei is the comic relief, the little chicken that is Moana's companion in the movie. And he is portrayed as like a comic relief and basically like the village idiot because he does like silly things. But Moana tries to see the good in Hei Hei, and we see that he is pretty much like, not all there by the things that he does, and she sees some good traits and characteristics in Hei Hei, which is very admirable on her part. But I was deep diving more into Hei Hei. I read somewhere, I can't cite the website now, but on this one particular website, when I was looking up the character of Hei Hei to get a little bit more of an understanding, Hei Hei basically represents the people of the island of Motunui, which they're kind of oblivious to what is coming their way, which is going to be doom and gloom if they do not act. And they likened him constantly pecking at the rock, as the rock being the island and the people being Hei Hei constantly pecking away at the island. So that, basically they did liken it to the island and they likened it to the people. So Hei Hei represents the people and the rock represents the island, where the people continuously pecking at the island. So Hei Hei does have some form of a representation aside from just being a character relief, and he does have some self-awareness because you also see where he recognizes and realizes that he had strayed away from the island, which they're not supposed to sail past the reef, and he recognized that, and hence the part where he freaks out and understands that they have broken the law of the island. So I did like Hei Hei, and aside from the fact that he does provide comic relief, he does represent some form of foretelling of what's to come. Okay, so the next character that I really like was Maui. So Maui, for me, when Moana meets Maui, he basically is this self-absorbed, starving for validation, and he's just all wrapped up in himself. And basically he's very boastful. He boasts about himself, his tattoos, his accomplishment, things he's done for humanity, this whole thing. He almost have traits of narcissism. I did have to look it up because to me, Maui portrayed someone that's very narcissistic. And of course, like I said, everything was me, me, me. So after meeting Moana, Maui pretty much berates her a lot. He doesn't take her seriously. And he, in turn, strategizes to steal her boat from her, and hence locking her up in a cave. He represents how some people can somehow forget how some people can change, because in the movie he does learn humility with Moana, and he does learn teamwork, and you can see that when he abandons her.
The ocean chose me!
It chose wrong.
And he chooses good over his own ego. So I did like Maui's character, and of course he is he's humorous, and I did love his song as well, You're Welcome. That song, You're Welcome, tells you like it's all about him. It's everything that Maui is about. His tattoos, his life, what he did. I, me. So yeah, that's Maui. But in the end, does choose good over his own ego. The third one coming up is going to be the song, Moana's song, How Far I'll Go. So this song, if you listen to it very careful, she tells her story. She tells the story how she's been staring at the water for so long, not understanding why. Deep inside of her, she has this calling. She has this rising up inside of her that wants to go out there past the reef, breaking the law that the island has, going against her father's wishes, going against her father's rule and law on the island. And she's afraid because she does not know how far she will go. Because when you have a calling such as the one that Moana has, it overtakes everything. It becomes paramount in your life. And this is what starts to happen to Moana. But it started from very young. She got the calling from she was a toddler when the ocean chose her and gave her the heart of Tafiti right there. And the only one that witnessed it was her grandmother, which her grandmother also plays a very good part in her life there. She plays the part in guiding her. But this one is about Moana. And if you listen to her song, she talks about how everyone on the island plays their part. Everyone on the island, basically she says the island is by design, which it is. Everyone stays in their lane. Everyone plays their part. Everyone has a duty to do. And as long as they do it, they're happy, or they seem like they're happy. And something inside of her is rising up. The prophecy is saying that the island of Motunui is going to perish. And the people are carrying on like it's normal, like carrying on like there's nothing to worry about. Meanwhile, danger is heading their way. And so for such a time as this, Moana has been selected to be the savior of the island. She has a lot of conflicting feelings because she is the chief's daughter. She has to lead the people. She has to perform the rituals of a chief's daughter, someone that, she holds a very high position on the island. It's overpowering her. And so I love this song because she's frightened, because she's saying, I don't know how far I'll go. And, it is a big calling, and she is going to have to rise up and meet that challenge. And one day she's just going to go ahead and not look back and take the plunge. And that is exactly what happens because it's needed. It's needed. And she's chosen for such a time as this. Okay, so the next song, this is number 4. The next song that I really like was We Know the Way. And I love this song because it tells you that Moana's people, they were a people that voyaged. They were people that traveled. They were people that, they were travelers. They were voyagers. And knew how to read the winds and the sky when the sun was high. That's how the words of that song goes. And they sailed the seas on the ocean breeze. And they tell you that we knew how to read the stars. We know the way home when we need to find our way home. And they kind of lost that way. So when Moana's grandmother shows her these ancient boats that have been parked long, long ago, this is the song that comes out to her, because it's almost like the ghost of the past begins to wound her, to serenade her and let her know we are voyagers. What you're feeling is the ghost of the past rising up, because you need to know where you're going. And sorry guys, those are my babies again. And so I love this song because it tells you who these people are. It tells her who her people are. And so this was a really eye-opening for Moana, because as you can see in the story, she could not believe, like, oh my goodness, we were once voyagers. That goes to show you that when you do have a calling, like, everything will line up. Everything will presents itself so that you are able to take that plunge. And that's what was happening with Moana, from the song where she said how far I'll go, and then the song where it says we know the way. Final one for me for Moana was her saying where she says, I am Moana from Montanui. I love this saying from her because it is an affirmation of her. Her grandmother told her to say this. When you meet Maui, I want you to say this, I am Moana from Montanui. But the way that it starts out is you see the growth in Moana. She starts out saying it. She's not believing the words behind it because, of course, Maui is not easy to deal with. Maui kind of like berates her, does not take her seriously. And so, you know, she keeps saying it and repeating it, but not believing the words. And it wasn't until I think defeat came on her. And Maui left and she was all by herself. And she was like, this is a mistake. I shouldn't have come. I don't know why I was chosen. You know, that moment of weakness where you doubt yourself. You no longer believe what you had set out to do. Like you believe it's a farceness, like it's not real. This is, you know, realization begins to hit in. And then at that moment, she does get an epiphany by her grandmother's visitation. And her grandmother simply tells her, then go back. Easy, just go back. Pretty much giving her the choice to turn around then. But was she really telling her to just go back? It was a awakening point. It was telling Moana to rise up. Rise up. So it was like a reverse psychology. Go back then. Go back. This was a mistake. You're absolutely correct. To where Moana realizes, no, I'm not going back. No, I can do this. I am Moana of Montanui. And the last time she says that, you can feel the assuredness, you can feel the confidence in her. Moana was birthed. What was in her is now fully in Moana. And she did have the spirit of her ancestors, the spirit of her past, the voyager, everything, because she learned to sail through Maui as well. So in the end, you see Moana speak those words in true confidence. She steps into the role as Moana of Montanui. Well, those were my 5 takes from the movie Moana. It was a beautiful movie. I loved it. It was, of course, it was like girl meets world movie. Like, she, you know, coming into her own, waking up, becoming the heroine that you're set out to be. So it was a beautiful movie. I loved it. It's a lot of takes from it. There's a lot more. Those are just the 5 that I chose. There were so many, starting from like the grandmother, just starting from like everything. It was a lot. It was a lot. Like how the ocean chose her. There's a lot in that. There also is the heart of Tafiti, like how when the island lost a heart, how you can become bitter. There's so many others that you could have taken from the movie. But for me, those were the 5 that stuck out to me. It was Hei Hei, Maui, the song How Far I'll Go, We Know the Way, and then I Am Moana of Montanui. Love that. Anyway, guys, there's a list below that of all the participating channels. Definitely go ahead and see their take on it, which is super cool. It helps you to dive in, and you can put life lessons on these things as well. So I really like that. And check out the other channels. And again, I'd like to thank Vicki from Vicki's Tigger Tales for the opportunity to go ahead and deep dive. It just rekindles my love of Disney and the movies, and it's just amazing. I love it, and I love deep diving, and this is my comfort zone, and I absolutely love it. So I will see you guys in my next one. Take care and be well, and definitely go ahead and check out the other channels. I'll talk to you later. Bye.